Hello class 12 students, this is the continuation part of the chapter human reproduction. In my previous video I started talking about the topic gametogenesis, and I said that the formation of gametes, be it a male gamete or a female gamete, is known as gametogenesis. Now gametogenesis is of two types. First is spermatogenesis and the second one is oogenesis. Okay, so I have already discussed spermatogenesis in my previous video. I have said that you need to learn the flowchart very well because it is a very important topic and it will come as a full 4 or 5 marks question. So if you write everything properly, that means whether each stage is haploid or diploid, the name of the cell that is formed at each stage, or the type of division, meiosis or mitosis. If you give everything correctly, you will get full marks. Okay, and the next type of gametogenesis is oogenesis, which is basically the formation of ovum. Okay, so now I am going to show you a similar flow chart which is very much similar to the spermatogenesis one, and I'm going to explain to you the process of oogenesis. Okay, so students, this diagrammatic representation is from your book only. So I am showing you this diagram so that it is easier for me to explain the whole process of oogenesis. Okay, now you can see the process of oogenesis is very much similar to the process of spermatogenesis, which started with the spermatogonium, and spermatogonium was a diploid cell and it ended in spermatozoa, which is haploid. Now here you can see that the whole process starts with oogonium. Okay, oogonium is diploid and it then undergoes mitosis. As you can see it here, it is written that the diploid oogonium undergoes mitosis to produce additional oogonia, which again are diploid cells. Okay, so this process of formation of additional oogonia from diploid oogonium is known as multiplication. Is this phase, this conversion is known as multiplication phase. Okay, now from this oogonium, in the next phase what will happen, primary oocyte will form. Similarly, in the same way that during spermatogenesis forms from spermatogonium, primary spermatocyte was formed. So similarly, in the same way, as I said, that oogenesis and spermatogenesis are very much similar to each other. So from diploid oogonium, primary oocyte will be formed, which again is diploid. In your book it might be written as N, but cut that out, it will be 2N. It will be diploid primary oocyte, and this phase is known as growth phase. Okay, so this conversion from diploid oogonium to diploid primary oocyte is known as growth phase, and here the chromosome number also remains same. Okay, it does not change. Now in the next phase, by meiosis 1 process of cell division, means you all know that the meiotic cell division has two stages, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So the first one is meiosis 1, which is basically where the reduction of the chromosome number takes place, and during meiosis 2, which is very much like mitotic cell division, that is equational division. Okay, so from the diploid primary oocyte, by meiosis 1 division, first polar body and secondary oocyte, these two are formed. Okay, so as you can see, from primary oocyte, two unequal cells are formed. One is the secondary oocyte, which is haploid, which is this large one. Okay, and another very small cell known as the first polar body is formed, which is also haploid. Now these are two very much unequal in size, and this is formed by meiosis 1 division. Okay, now this first polar body, what is this first polar body? In the first meiotic division, so during this first meiotic division or the meiosis 1 cell division, the primary oocyte divides into two unequal haploid daughter cells. As you can see that one is very big, one is very small. Okay, so two unequal haploid, both are haploid daughter cells, a large secondary oocyte, this one, and a very small first polar body, this one. This is the first polar body. The first polar body, this one may develop more further, or it might degenerate here. Okay, now, so what happened by meiosis 1 cell division? Primary oocyte, diploid primary oocyte formed two unequal daughter cells. Both are haploid. One is secondary oocyte and the other one is first polar body. Now this first polar body may develop, or it means may divide further, or it might degenerate. Okay, now we are talking about the secondary oocyte here. Secondary oocyte, which is haploid, will again undergo cell division. Now this time it will undergo meiosis 2, that means the second meiotic division, which is the equational division. That means no change in chromosome number takes place. As you can see here, the chromosome number became half from that in growth phase, means from 46 it became 23, which is half. That means reductional division took place. But meiosis 2 is like equational division, and thus no change in chromosome number takes place. So what does it produce after this second meiotic division? It produces a mature ovum, which is again haploid, and it produces a second polar bodies, 3 second polar bodies. So 3 will not always be formed. This secondary oocyte will again form two unequal haploid daughter cells, one the mature ovum and another the second polar body. And if this first polar body divides further, then it will produce two more polar bodies. So in total, maximum 3 second polar bodies will be formed, but all 3 of them after this stage will degenerate. See, it is written here, all of them will degenerate after this stage. So at this stage, what do we get? We get a mature ovum, which is haploid, and then with this mature ovum, the sperm will come. As you can see already here that the sperm has already come here, and the sperm will come and fertilize this ovum. How? Both the nucleus of the ovum and the sperm will fuse together, and finally it will form the zygote. Okay, so you will have to learn this whole flowchart of oogenesis very well. In online class also I have given you a flowchart, so if you don't want to learn from the book, if you want to learn that also, that is very much okay, but you will have to learn the flowchart, because a total of 4 or 5 marks question can come from these two flowcharts, either the spermatogenesis or the oogenesis. And along with these flowcharts, you will have to mention 2n or n anything, and along with the name of the phases, whether it is the multiplication phase or the growth phase or the maturation phase, anything. Okay, along with that type of division, that means mitosis or meiosis 1 or meiosis 2. So all these things you will have to mention, and then only you will get full marks in that question. Okay, so you can get this in explanatory form in your book, page number 46. And now let's talk about the significance of oogenesis. So obviously the first significance is it produces ovum, without which the zygote will not be formed, and if the zygote is not formed, then the offsprings will not be formed. And then the during this meiosis of this oogenesis, the crossing over takes place, which brings about variation. So these are the two very important significance of oogenesis. Okay, so I'll continue with the next topic of this chapter in the next online class.